Of course, yeah, of course. Last So hello everyone. My name is Maria Goheen and I am the Events and Outreach Coordinator at Casa Missoula. Thank you for joining us today to help us show our support for strengthening families and child abuse prevention month. I want to thank the Parenting Place, Healthy Start, um, Youth Homes, the Boys and Girls Club, ASUM Child Care, and Families First for partnering with us this April. As you can see, we have planted blue pinwheels on the lawn to show our admiration for our youth. The blue pinwheel is the national symbol for child abuse prevention. The pinwheel represents the great childhood that every child deserves and the role we each play in providing a loving and supportive environment for the children in our lives, which is why we have planted pinwheels here at the courthouse today. So we would like to thank our community donors as well, who graciously supported our Pinwheels Prevention Art Contest, Mismo Gymnastics, Spectrum Discovery Area, Kid Crossings, and Westside Lanes. So thank you to everyone who participated, and I will introduce our very first special speaker today, which is Ivy Anderson. So, Ivy Anderson is the executive director at the Parenting Place. Ivy is a mother, social worker, and self-described queen of calm. She began with the Parenting Place in 2013 as the respite coordinator, then moved to program director. As of April 23rd, became the executive director. Ivy values this work because of her deep commitment to prevention of abuse in all forms and feels passionate about creating healthy and supportive relationships that foster healing, growth, and resiliency. She is skilled in facilitating groups with children, youth, and families, and educating communities on the importance of trauma-informed care practices. Ivy loves spending time in nature, being with her precious son, and walking their feisty pug, Bob. She seeks all things joy and the beauty in daily life. Here we go.
Is this good up here? Everybody can hear me? Get my mic closer.
Yay.
Well, thank you all for being here today. Thanks for introducing me, Maria. Like she said, my name is Ivy Anderson. I'm the executive director at the Parenting Place. And yeah, I just wanted, I'll keep it short. I know we have a few speakers, but if you're not familiar with us at the Parenting Place, we are a local nonprofit here in town whose mission is to prevent abuse and neglect of children through strengthening families. So we've been in this since 1981, and I've got my little ta-da performer behind me. But yeah, a lot of what we do is focused on strengthening families. We know that that is the work of prevention. And so when we can bring families together, provide parenting support and education, we know that we're raising children in homes where they're loved, they're respected, they're treasured, and our mission, really our goal, is to make sure that every child grows up in a home that's safe, nurturing, and stable, and also a community as well. So that is why, I'm so happy to see all of your faces. Thank you so much to all of our, donors and supporters, CASA, Donation Warehouse. We love you, Children's Trust Fund. So thanks everyone so much. And I think we have one more speaker coming up right after me. Are you introducing? Okay.
All right, thank you, Ivy. Up next will be DNA Ambrose. DNA is the family developer at the Dan Fox Family Care Program under Youth Homes. She is new to this position, but has had a long love and passion for working with kids from tough backgrounds and with severe emotional disturbances. just getting up these stairs. Can everyone hear me all right? Yeah. All right. Yeah, thank you to everyone who came out, to not only the children, but also just the families in general. I mean, that's why we're here today. And for those who work with children and families, and those who also work in supporting and advocating for the families and children in this community, it's a very big role. And just thank you for teaming up today to just show up and tell folks that we're here. Um, as we stated before, we're here with our Pinwheels, just bringing awareness to child abuse and trying to prevent child abuse from happening. And being in this work, it can be very easy to just kind of perseverate on and focus in too much on the bad that happens in the world. Of course, I mean, in an ideal world, none of our positions would exist, and that kids would be safe, you know. But here we are, and it's great that we have these supports in place because these things do happen. And I know for myself, again, it's very easy to focus on like all the negative things that have happened in the world and everything. I mean, if you go to any psychology course, they're going to tell you about every single disorder that they can. But one thing that I think is always challenging for me, that I think we should all challenge ourselves to, is to focusing on the good that's happening in the world. And one thing that I've kind of had to remind myself throughout every single day is a quote specifically from Jesuit priest Greg Boyle, who basically puts it very simply that we belong to each other. We belong to the children that we serve, the children belong to us, we belong to the families that we serve, to the people in the streets who are struggling, and not in a way that's possessive, but in a way that we're supposed to be caring for each other, supposed to be supporting one another. And within youth homes, that's our goal, is to help kids find homes that are going to be adoptive, foster homes that are going to be places where they can be in good places, where they belong to the parents, where the parents belong to them, and that we're caring for each other in a community of trust. And to wrap it all up, is that we belong to each other, and that's it. And it's a message that sometimes I tear up about and I think about all day, and I have to challenge myself to remember we belong to each other. So thank you for COTSA and for Betsy Mayer, who is actually one of our foster parents, who's kicked butt this year, honestly, gone above and beyond. And in fact, she could have told us no so many times, but she's coming up and doing so much good work. So thank you for doing that, and have fun, and remember that I belong to you, you belong to me, and we belong to one another. All right.
Thanks.
That was wonderful. Thank you. Yep, VNA. Up next, we have Anna Semple. Anna Semple is the Substance Use Disorder Prevention Coordinator at the Missoula City County Health Department, focusing on early childhood and parent support. She currently coordinates Missoula's local Best Beginnings Council, as well as the Missoula County Perinatal Substance Use Network. Her master's degree in intercultural youth and family development from the University of Montana provided a foundation in community organizing and knowledge about early childhood. She is a certified master trainer in the Linking Systems of Care Trauma-Informed Organizations and ACE interface trainings. She is passionate about prevention work and loves that her position focuses on supporting all families of young children. She also loves to explore the mountains of Montana with her family.
Hello. So as the coordinator of our local Best Beginnings Council, our early childhood coalition in Missoula that is focused on connecting families to support services, I am lucky in that I get to look upstream every single day of how do we come around families and meet them where they're at to support them in being the parents that they want to be. And my philosophy with coalition partners is that all of us in organizations are doing the best we can with the tools that we have, and we can come together and learn. And that's also how I see families in our community. We all want to be good parents to our children. We all want to care for the little ones and help raise them up. And I think it doesn't mean we don't need to look out for safety. It doesn't mean that child welfare is an important piece of our community, but it also means that our community has a huge responsibility upstream to take care of families before that crisis happens and before we get there. And I am so excited that we have so many partners in Missoula that are on board with that. And when you think about the prevention, protective factors that keep child abuse and neglect from happening, all of those are things that all families need. They're not unique to any one set of families in our community. So we have things like access to basic needs, concrete support in times of need, and that could be having safe childcare where you can send your child and go to work and take care of the things your family needs and make the money you need to feed them. Really basic things that I need in my life, and so does anybody else. I'm going to forget some of them, so I have to look at my notes. Social support. We need a network, and raising young children can be hard and really isolating for anyone, once again. So how do we get parents out to places where they can connect with one another, build relationships? How can we build the supports that exist so that that exists in our community for everybody? Nurturing and attachment. We want to make sure families are able to bond right off the bat. So how do we check and screen for maternal mental health or parental mental health right off the bat and make sure people are doing okay and have the support they need so that bonding can happen and continue in the years ahead? Knowledge of parenting. I ask for help from professionals all the time to raise my 3-year-old, and it is really helpful. I do this work every day, and I knew things I didn't want to do, but I didn't always know what to do instead. And so reaching out for help about tantrums. 2 weeks ago, we got really great advice from some professionals in our community. So whether it's home visitors or a parenting class, I think the parenting class is starting one tonight. No matter what the source is, if you're going to the library and learning from Families First, there's so many great organizations in our community. They're also looking at children's social emotional skills. That goes back to parents asking for help, right? And that parental resilience of knowing when to ask for help and how to make those connections. And that's safe. And so something that we can all do to help prevent child abuse and neglect and to strengthen families that we all need is to normalize asking for help, to make that just what everybody does, because no one has a baby and doesn't have their life blown apart in some way. This just doesn't happen. And so making it so that we all know that there's a safe place to go and making those safe places so that connection can happen is huge. With Healthy Start Missoula, our Best Beginnings Coalition, we also are promoting Right by Text. We're trying to get parents signed up for this service so they can hear about local events that are happening and have these informal connections. So go ahead and check out rightbytext.org and you can sign up. And we don't take any personal information. We just want to know your phone number so we can send the text and how old your kids are so you can get age-appropriate info about what's going on around town. We are working with organizations to try and connect them to one another so that they can all be working together as a team to support families. So everyone can do something, and we all are making a lot happen. I really appreciate everyone here tonight, and we'll pass it back to Maria.
Thank you, Anna. So, last but not least, we have Betsy Meyer. Betsy Meyer is a fourth-generation Montanan who grew up in the Bitterroot Valley on a family farm where she was a 10-year 4-H'er.
4-H'er.
Sorry?
4-H'er.
4-H'er.
Yeah.
She graduated from Stevensville High School and went to the University of Chicago to study biology and play basketball. After working in biochemistry and nephrology labs, she moved to the development office at UChicago. She and her family lived in one of the college dorms as resident heads for 7 years. When the family decided to move to Maine, she began to work in the student housing and then in the Dean of Students office at Bowdoin College. The family returned to Montana and she continued to work in nonprofits. After retirement, she volunteered with Lolo School Title I program, and she and her spouse became therapeutic foster care providers for Dan Fox. In 2019, Betsy trained to become a COSA. Volunteer advocate and has worked on 4 cases with 13 children who were removed from their parents due to abuse or neglect. Betsy is also a longtime member of the Missoula International School Board and a member of the Sons of Norway Lodge. Betsy is married to Peter Benson, and they have a son, Dan, who lives in Sofia, Bulgaria, and teaches English as a second language and writes science fiction books, and a daughter, Katie, who lives in Burlington, Vermont, and works as education director for a credit union. They have two amazing granddaughters and a very funny 1-year-old standard poodle puppy. Here we go, Betsy. Thank you.
Well, it's hard coming last with this bunch because I think most of the stuff I've been thinking about, we've talked about. Um, but I think that my philosophy about supporting strong families and helping with avoid child abuse is that all of us have hard times, and all of us at some point need help, and all of us at some other point can give help. And that's how I think about my work in this field, both as a Dan Fox respite care and foster care provider. I've learned an awful lot. In fact, the great joke in our family is if Peter and I just done the Dan Fox thing first, our kids would be even better. So it's sometimes it's really been an area where I got to learn a lot after my work life stopped, and I enjoy it very much. I think the other thing, I feel like as a CASA, you're kind of a small cog in a big organization, the whole judicial piece, you know. But it's the small cog that can talk to the kids, and I think that's the really important thing to do. It's the one-on-one connection with these kids. Lots of them meet just to have an adult listen to them. You don't have to solve any problems, just listen to what they want to say. And I think Peter and I both have throughout our time with the kids we've known as foster children and the kids I've known as classic kids, have really felt a lot of joy in watching them find a better way to be in the world. The other thing I want to say is just don't avoid talking to our decision makers about what we need for kids in our community. There's just too many times when what is really needed on the ground isn't talked about, and that's the annoyance that I think we can solve. It's like, yeah. Oops, talk closer.
Yes, please. Thank you.
So I get to announce the Pinwheels for Prevention art contest that we've held. And do we have the art here? No, we don't have the art here. I think you can see it on the website, though. On the CASA website? Yeah. So I have the winners to announce. The winner for Young Expressionists is Ivan, who joined through Families First. The winner for Emerging Talents Division is Telly, who also joined from Boys and Girls Club. We have great titles on all of these awards, actually. I really like the next one. The winner of Aesthetic Influencers Division is Chase, who participated through Boys and Girls Club. Of the raffle is Aaliyah, who's also from the Boys and Girls Club.
All right.
Congratulations to all those winners. And go online. I did go online and look at all the entrance, all the pieces that were exhibited, and it was great fun. So I would encourage you to do that. And I don't know what we do next. Are we over?
All right, Betsy.
Thank you, Betsy, and congratulations to all those winners. So to close off, I'm going to invite everyone to come to Healthy Starts Roll and Read event at McCormick Park, in which we'll be joined by the wonderful Hanson Place and table. It's going to be great. And then in addition, I just want to thank everyone who helped us plant our pinwheels today and help make this event happen. So thank you for coming here today to celebrate and support strengthening families on Child Abuse Prevention Month. And we have one more thing.
What?
What do we have? Is it karaoke?
That I go to Boys and Girls Club and I love playing with other kids and meeting new friends.
Yeah.